Hello everybody, welcome to Cubeworld. This is an episode for you guys. It's a montage of death and destruction in Cubeworld. So, kick back, relax, and enjoy the massacre. Right now, I am killing some bosses. This is the boss death montage, and that one was pretty easy. Kills, which is fine, I guess. This B right here was pretty easy. All of them were pretty easy. There was one that was really hard though, and that one's coming up soon. This one, though, they're pretty interesting bosses if you think about it. They repeat bosses. They'll have different bosses every single time. They definitely repeat a lot of bosses, which kind of sucks. I think they should add a little bit more bosses when it comes out, or when it's already out. But like when later patches, they should definitely add more bosses. That would be really nice. The bosses and the loot, the bosses drop isn't that great. They should probably up this. This boss was pretty tricky, pretty tough. I actually had to kill a couple of his ads first because they were like, "We're going to murder you." I'm like, "No, you're gonna die instead." So I killed them all like a pro. This is pro MLG play, and this is it. You can only get this from Zorzarcast. You can't get this anywhere else. There's the boss right there. He's looking like a boss. Well, he is a boss. When I first heard that term, like a boss, I thought that people were talking about like video game bosses. I thought they were talking about like, video game bosses. So I was kind of confused on why people said like a boss. I'm like, well, bosses eventually lose, so you're saying like a boss, kind of like boss? Like you lose, you die, and you mean you're good at first and you're bad later on? I don't know. But when I first heard that, that's what I thought. It was pretty sad, but that's fine. So this boss was, like I said, this boss was a little bit tougher than the other ones. It had a lot of health. I'm running away from its spell right now because that spell really hurts, and I don't want to get hurt. I think I had to take a few more potions on this one. I really did. I also have a castle that I do. I do about a boss or two after this, and then I do another castle. And the funny thing about all of these bosses is they were all so close together. I didn't have to walk very far to get to these bosses. I had to walk maybe, I don't even know. I didn't have to. I crossed a hill and there was another boss. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. I don't even know. But yeah, they weren't very far apart. And I don't like rangers. Rangers in this game, like when you're fighting rangers, they're such a pain. They're such a pain and they're so annoying. It's like, oh come on, what are you doing? How are you gonna go out and shoot me 1,000 times like that and take 50? That's not even that much. Take half my health off for one special move. Come on, that doesn't even make any sense. I hit you hundreds and hundreds of times, and you hit me a few times, and you get my health down to there? What? How much health does this guy have? Obviously a few thousand. All the bosses have a few thousand hit points. None of them are. I just recently played a +1 boss. I tried to kill a boss that was blue to me, and he was +1. And I'm like, well, okay, I could probably take him. Okay, right. So I get him down to maybe a little bit below halfway, and oh gosh, and then I'm at 200 health, right? And I'm running away, and I'm taking a potion. And as I'm taking the potion running away, he crits for 400. The one time I don't run away in time, he crits for 400. So I'm like, that is some cheat. That's some cheat codes right there. He's typing in some cheat codes. He's got a few cheat codes in here that he's just gonna punch in while he's fighting me. Maybe get that 400 crit. My highest crit, I think, in this was just 100. And imagine it gets way higher as you level up and you get better weapons. My weapon right now is a great. I'm level 20. Well, now I'm level 20. In this video, in this clip right here, I'm level 17, but you'll see at the end of this episode I am level 20 and I have a sword that does about 10 damage, but well, actually I think it's like 10.9 damage, but you know, if you do that adapted, you go to that adapted and you spend the platinum coins to get an upgrade for your weapon, and that's what I do usually to get so I can avoid, you know, so I can avoid having to just rebuy things or refine better weapons. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to refine better weapons. I want to make my weapons better. I mean, especially this sword. I really like the way this sword looks. There's another boss down the drain. This is taking a potion real fast before I take off. And here's another boss that I find. Of course, another bee. I'm like, oh jeez, oh jeez. Why is this guy bee? And so, yeah, I own this guy. This boss is pretty easy. I mean, you know, you guys ever run into those skull bowls? Those skull bowls that just own you at a lower level. It's like, what? Blowing metal. I mean, so you instantly, of course, you want revenge on those guys. I don't even know where that Roadrunner came from. But also in this castle that I go to, I get an orange. I get a legendary, or a yellow, whatever color it is. And of course, it's a legendary for mages. I don't actually have a mage. I mean, I have a low-level mage. I have a level 1 mage. But, you know, here's a gigantic ogre that I take down. It was pretty easy. I mean, he was a little bit tough because because of that knockdown, and then of course he hit pretty hard. But other than that, he was pretty easy to take down. I couldn't believe how giant he was. I mean, I don't think I've seen a bigger mob than him. But he was pretty easy. I've got the shuriken attack, which is fantastic. When you get, it's so much easier to level up. I mean, when you're level 1, it takes probably about it takes quite a few kills to level, but it just seems like the higher level you, I know it's not true, but it seems like the higher level you get, the harder it is to level. I mean, sorry, the easier it is to level. The higher level you get, the easier, because I'm finding myself going into dungeons that I can take now, that freaking, see, there we go. I find myself going into dungeons. Speaking of dungeons, here's the castle. Here's where the castle begins right here. I'm just gonna hang glide down there. And I found myself leveling maybe once or occasionally twice in every castle or, you know, pyramid or dungeon. But yeah, you know, it's a little tough. I mean, of course it takes a little bit, this game takes a lot of hours to play. And it definitely takes time. I mean, it takes a while to level. I believe that there is no max level, so I believe I have so many close calls in this dungeon. But I did some pretty good editing to. Actually, I didn't die at all. I mean, the very first time I came into the dungeon, I died because I ran under like a dummy, took on way too much, and I died because the entire first room was on my butt. So, you know, of course I died. But I did a little bit of editing, of course, and yeah, I had a lot of close calls in this dungeon, like calls like, oh geez, how did I not die? How did I survive that? But I don't die throughout the rest of the video, so don't even worry about it. Don't stress no new fella. So yeah, I live. I mean, I have, like I said, yeah, I have a few close calls. But for the most part, I do pretty good. I mean, this, like I said, this is some pro MLG play. There I go, leveling up again. Look at that. Of course, I didn't level up that fast. If you see the previous clip and then look at this clip, you'll see that. I mean, it took me a little bit to find this castle. Those bosses were all right next to each other, so of course I had to make the castle very far away. But I found this castle. But on the way, I was fighting, and I found a few more. I found a couple more bosses, which is weird. I don't know, like, what is it up with this little zone here? There's so many bosses to kill, so I killed them all. Of course, so I leveled pretty high. And so when I got to this dungeon, I'm level, I think 19. I can't really tell because I'm watching this a really tiny screen right now, which is fine. You know, whatever. The best class for rogues, right? The best class I would imagine for weapon of choice. My weapon of choice for assassins or rogues or whatever is I like to call it the ninja sword, the sword that I'm using right now. It's so good. I mean, when I was using my fists, so I was using my daggers, right? You know, it's alright. But I couldn't solo a dungeon to save my life. So then I switched to fist, and you know, I still couldn't solo a dungeon, but I could get a few people down. And when I switched to this sword, instantly I could solo just almost every dungeon. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, you know, I started soloing dungeons instantly, like that level too. That's very same level I was using daggers, and I couldn't solo dungeons, and so I switched to a sword, and I suddenly can solo dungeons all the time. I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So, yeah, I can solo them now, which is fantastic, because that's what this game's all about. I mean, unless you have a group, of course, then you can use daggers or fist or whatever, you know. But, yeah, okay, so that's for a rogue. For the mage, I personally would rather use either the bracelets or the wands. Now, the reason I like the bracelets is because the bracelets, they are quick, you know, they're fast attackers. You just go boom, 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 boom. The wands, it's a little bit slower, but it's not as slow as the staff. So you can attack, you know, mediumly fast, and you know, still hit pretty hard. Now the staff is terrible. I don't like the staff at all. The staff is really, it takes a while to cast, and it doesn't even hit that hard. You'd think, you know, bigger weapon staff. It's the same with, as you see this guy chasing me around with the gigantic axe. I tried a warrior. Now I go to the warrior class. Now, the warrior class, I found that the two-handed weapons are rubbish. You don't want to be using the two-handed weapons because you know, it takes too long to hit, and when you do hit, you don't always hit them, and when you hit them, you don't hit that hard. So you're not really accomplishing anything when you're, you know, when you're fighting anything. So that's my take on the warriors. The what else is the ranger? I don't really know about the ranger yet. I mean, I had a ranger. I had like level 3 ranger, and I tried out all the weapons. I tried the boomerang. I tried the bow. I tried the crossbow, and they just all seemed terrible to me. They all seemed just bad. So I don't really like the ranger class all too much. I don't know, maybe I gotta get higher level to try it out then. But for the lower levels, I don't actually like the ranger class at all. I'll level them up a little bit more, maybe get a few gameplays, then I'll get a different take, better take on it. Looking at my inventory here, and hopefully I'll have better news on that. But I just, you know, the ranger. I'd say my favorite though is the assassin. I have so much fun playing the assassin. The mage is that's my second favorite, and then the warrior, and then of course the ranger. Now the reason I don't like the warrior so much is because, I mean, the berserker is great now. I mean, you can attack pretty fast. I mean, so when you're using the sword and the shield, right? It takes quite a while to kill things because you're using a sword and a shield. And in every every RPG, sword and shield is not always the way to go unless you have a group to, you know, you have DPS on your side. In which case, I don't have any friends that have this game, so you know, I'm just kind of on my own, all by myself. So yeah, that's the reason I don't like the warriors all too much. I mean, the two-handed weapons, of course, I don't like because the attack is way too slow. I don't know if you can speed that up or something. I mean, I'd imagine when you get moves, like later on, when you get moves with the warrior, it's a little bit better. But I don't actually like it all too much right now. So that's my take on the warrior. The mage. Now, the reason that's my second favorite is because now the mage is, I mean, okay, so it seems like you can have so much classes, or sorry, not classes, spells that are just awesome. I like the, like I said, I like the bracelets. How you can just, you know, pew, 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 attack really fast with with bracelets. The wand is decently fast, like I said, and I like the mage. I think the mage has a lot of potential, and I also think the mage is probably the second best class. I obviously think the assassin's the best class, but the mage is definitely the second best class. And look at this ugly guy right here. That guy needs a haircut. Look at that blue hair. Skeletons don't have hair. Come on. What is this? Since the 80s? And obviously now the assassin, the reason it's my favorite is because it killed things fast. That was a really close call. Did you see my health on that? Oh my god. The assassin is my favorite class because it hits hard, you hit fast, and you're powerful. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. What's the comment below, what's the highest damage I took in this entire video? What's the highest amount of damage? I don't know, but I'm sure it's quite high. So I'm taking this guy on, and you know they just should also add, and which would be cool, is flying mounts in this. And I know they have the hand glider, or sorry, the hang glider, but I think they should add flying mounts. Like maybe you can ride a dragon, maybe you can tame a bird and ride a bird. I don't know, but I think they should have flying mounts. It's just to get around easier, or some way of getting around easier, like maybe a Hearthstone, like out of WoW, where you could just, you know, teleport to the last city you're at, so you don't have to run all the way back. I mean, I know they got the mounts, and the mounts are nice and all, but I'm sure the mounts can get really fast. However, it doesn't get you there in the fastest way. So I think, there I go, killing the boss like a mouse. I think they should definitely add flying mounts. There's the legendary bracers that I got, which really sucks that I couldn't use. I was really depressed about that. I'm thinking about saving it for my mage, and the way you can do that is, all you gotta do is go to the shop, right? Sell it to the shopkeeper, whatever. Get onto your mage, put them in the same seed, and buy it back. Go to the buyback menu and buy it back, and that's how you get stuff back for your. That's how you get stuff to your other characters, which is really handy. I found that out by accident, and yeah. So I got a purple. Of course, it's not for me. Look at these guys. This is another close call. There's quite a lot of people in here, and I know I missed a part at the entrance, and I actually go back and do that later. Not in this video, sadly, but I do when I'm off cam. I do it off cam. And so these guys, look at these guys. So this video is coming to an end, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and favorite, and if I'm lucky, subscribe. And let me know how much, if you want me to do more of these Cubeworld videos, because they're really good. They're really nice. It took me a while to get that mount, by the way, that Roadrunner, I got a Roadrunner. I don't know if you saw it at the beginning, but yeah. So here's my dwarf. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, like and favorite. And yeah. Oh, by the way, that's a legendary lamp. You can get it. Just look it up online. Legendary lamp seeds for Cubeworld, and you'll get it. So yeah, have a good one, guys, and see you next time. Bye bye.